Have you ever stopped to think that the very foundation of how computers work, something that's been the same for decades, is about to be completely reinvented? Well, that's the huge claim coming out of NVIDIA's latest keynote. In this explainer, we're going to break down what they're calling computing's great reset and the rise of something totally new, physical AI. All right, let's jump in.
NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, he doesn't mince words. He says the entire computer industry just resets itself every decade or so. And we're not talking about just a faster phone or a new app. Nope, this is a fundamental ground-up shift, kind of like the jump from mainframes to PCs or from desktop computers to mobile. And the craziest part? We are living through the next big one right now. So what does this new era of computing actually feel like? Well, imagine an AI that doesn't just text you a recipe, but can actually control a robot in your kitchen to cook that meal for you. That's where we're headed, an AI that can reason, plan, and physically do things in the real world.
Okay, let's start with the big picture, what NVIDIA is calling computing's great reset. And just to be clear, this isn't just about making things a little bit faster. It's about changing the fundamental building blocks of technology itself, from the software we create to the hardware that actually runs it. This slide really lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got the old world of computing. A developer sits down, writes lines of code, and gives the computer very specific logical instructions. But on the right, you see the new way of doing things. We don't really program anymore. We train. We feed an AI model just massive amounts of data, and it learns to generate new ideas, new content, and new solutions all on its own. It's a whole different ballgame. And the scale of this reset, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. We're talking about a $10 trillion overhaul of the world's data centers and all its computing infrastructure. Just think about it for a second. Pretty much every company in every single industry is now pouring its research and development money away from traditional software and into building out these new AI systems. So if the old way was all about giving computers instructions, the new way is about creating software that can actually think for itself. This is really the first major pillar of this great reset, the rise of what we can call thinking AI. And the speed at which this is all happening is just dizzying. Take a look at this timeline. It took a whole 5 years to get from the invention of the transformer, the tech that underlies all this, to that big ChatGPT moment in 2022. But in just the couple of years since then, we've already jumped to AI that can reason and plan. These so-called agentic systems are the next big thing, and they're showing up way faster than anyone thought possible. So what exactly is agentic AI? Well, imagine you tell your AI, hey, plan a weekend trip to Paris for me. A simple chatbot might just give you a list of flights. But an agentic AI, it'll check your calendar, find the best flight and hotel deals, book them for you, create a whole itinerary based on what you like, and maybe even make your dinner reservations. It's basically an AI that acts like your own personal assistant to just get things done.
So how do these agents actually think? Well, it's a process that looks a lot like how we solve problems. First, it breaks the goal down into smaller, manageable pieces. Then it does its research, gathering all the info it needs and figuring out what digital tools it has to work with. And finally, it puts together and executes a step-by-step plan. The key here is that it's less about knowing the answer right away and more about knowing how to find the answer. But, okay, what happens when this thinking AI needs to do more than just browse the internet? What happens when it actually meets the physical, real world? This brings us to the second pillar of this big reset, the emergence of physical AI. Physical AI is all about giving machines the kind of common-sense understanding of the world that you and I just take for granted. It's about teaching them the basic laws of physics, gravity, momentum, cause and effect. Without this common sense, a robot is just a dumb puppet. But with it, it can become a truly intelligent partner in our physical world. And if you want to see physical AI in action today, you don't have to look any further than an autonomous car. I mean, think about it. A self-driving car has to constantly see its environment, predict what other drivers are going to do, and make split-second decisions based on the laws of physics, all in real time. It's basically the ultimate test of an AI's ability to operate in our world. NVIDIA's Alpamo system, which is powering the new Mercedes-Benz CLA, is just a fantastic example of this. What makes it so special is that it's designed to actually think like a human driver. It can even explain why it made a certain move, which is a huge leap forward. And to make sure it's as safe as possible, it's trained on the mix of real-world data and billions of miles of simulated driving, which lets it learn from situations that would be way too dangerous to test on an actual road. This quote really captures all the excitement going on in the industry. That ChatGPT moment showed the entire world what AI could do with language. Now, we are right on the edge of a very similar breakthrough for physical AI. This is the point where this digital reset starts to have a massive real-world impact on our physical reality. But all of this incredible AI, both the thinking kind and the physical kind, creates a massive challenge. How in the world do you power it? The demand for computation is just astronomical. And that brings us to the third and final piece of this reset, the brand new hardware that's basically the engine for this whole revolution. So here's the fundamental problem that NVIDIA is trying to solve. The demand for AI processing power is growing exponentially, but Moore's law, that's the rule that gave us faster, cheaper chips for the last 50 years, is kind of running out of gas. So how do you build the future of AI when the old way of making computers more powerful is hitting a physical wall? NVIDIA's answer is a pretty radical strategy they call extreme co-design. The best way to think about it is like designing a Formula One race car. You don't just build a better engine. No, you redesign the engine, the chassis, the aerodynamics, and the software all at the same time, making sure every single piece is perfectly tuned to work together. That's exactly what NVIDIA is doing with its data centers. And the results of this strategy are absolutely staggering. Just take a look at this chart. The bar on the left, that's Hopper, NVIDIA's last generation. The middle bar, Blackwell, is a 10 times jump in performance. But the bar on the right, their next platform called Rubin, that is projected to be 100 times more powerful than Hopper. This isn't just slow and steady progress. These are massive, exponential leaps, all happening within just a few years. And this incredible performance isn't coming from just one single magic chip. As you can see here, it's a whole system of 6 specialized chips, all working together in perfect harmony. You've got the Rubin GPU, which is the AI workhorse, and the Vera CPU, which is like the brains of the operation. But you also have chips that are just dedicated to superfast networking, security, and data management. Every single one of these components is a breakthrough, and they're all designed to act as one gigantic AI supercomputer. So we have revolutionary new software that can think, and we have a revolutionary new hardware to power it. What happens when you put them both together? Well, you get the very beginning of a new industrial revolution, one where AI starts to literally reshape our physical world. And this isn't some far-off sci-fi future. This is happening right now. Big industry leaders are already using this new computing platform. In manufacturing, Siemens is using it to build virtual factories. In the software world, ServiceNow is using it to create way smarter AI assistants. This technology is becoming the new foundation for innovation everywhere. This quote from the partnership between Siemens and NVIDIA just sums it up perfectly. We're moving into an age where AI isn't just something in the cloud. It's actively designing, building, and operating the physical world all around us. The ultimate vision here is to completely transform manufacturing as we know it. Imagine this. You use an AI to design a new drone. Then, you use another AI to design the perfect robotic factory to build that drone. And before you spend a single dollar on real equipment, you can build and run that entire factory in a perfectly simulated virtual world to work out all the kinks first. That's the power you get when you combine AI with these digital twins. So, that's the big picture. The last industrial revolution was all about mass production. This new one seems to be about mass creation. We're building intelligent machines that can design and build almost anything we can possibly imagine. Which really leaves us with the ultimate question. Now that we have these incredible new tools, what kind of world do you want to build?